We've got plenty to talk about on today's show, but as important as that Week 2 game against Pittsburgh felt, I'm already building up this Ravens Week 4 game. An opportunity to go 3-1 into the bye and really step on Baltimore's throat after they lost at home against the Colts. So I don't only want to beat them on Sunday, I of course want to beat our Ravens Rundown channel here at Chat Sports in subscribers. Now we got a good lead on them so far throughout the week, but let's bury them. Let's put them 6 feet below the ground, hit the sub button down below, and let's get into today's show. So we have some roster moves being made here. The Browns made some practice squad additions and subtractions. They signed 2 players, Devin Asai, the tight end who was with the Bengals most recently, and then running back Dawand Jackson, who was released from the Indianapolis Colts not too long ago. And to make room on the practice squad for those 2 guys, they moved on from Tristan Hill. Remember, that was a Dallas Cowboys second-round draft pick, I want to say. And he had a decent preseason, but Maurice Hurst ultimately won the starting job or won the roster spot over him. And then another UDFA, or a UDFA from this past draft class, Hassan Hall out of Georgia Tech. He was like the kick return guy, if you guys remember, during training camp and preseason. He didn't really wow me much in training camp or preseason, so they move on from him to make room for Dawand Jackson. Dawand Jackson's probably the most notable name of these 4 just because he has some NFL regular season experience, and we also know the Browns running back room is a little shaky at the moment, right? Nothing is a guarantee for the rest of the year, so keep an eye on Dawand Jackson maybe to move up to the active roster if Pierre Strong Jr. doesn't look like the guy as an RB3, or they're not getting good production out of Jerome Ford or Kareem Hunt. So with that being said, let's get into some Browns rumors on today's show. The Browns trading for Jerry Jeudy. Well, we're going to discuss this because there are some wild internet rumors out there about the Browns going out and maybe acquiring the Broncos wide receiver. And I don't think it's very likely, which is why I'm going to give it one Bernie head. So just one Bernie head on the Browns potentially even trading for Jerry Jeudy. This seems like a long shot in my opinion. So why are we discussing this? Well, there's very reputable very reputable Twitter account, NFL Notifications, said trade rumor. I don't even know who we is. It's just this guy's account with 21,000 followers. But we have been informed that trade talks for wide receiver Jerry Jeudy will be re-engaged soon as the Broncos look to acquire draft capital. The Browns and Patriots are one other team are currently interested. So there are some rumors about rumors that NFL Notifications is just someone who works in the front office. It's their burner account. I don't think this has much legs to it at all, but we do know the Browns were interested in Jerry Jeudy at one point in time. There was a lot of buzz in the offseason that Cleveland was kicking the can on Jerry Jeudy and making some phone calls over to Denver to see what the price would be. Now, I could definitely see Denver being in sell mode after their 0-3 start. They lost by 50 points in week 2. They did pick up Jerry Jeudy's 5th-year option. So to me, that signals they like to see him on this roster for all 5 years of his rookie contract. But if some team comes in with a good offer, maybe they do jump at it and they decide to, hit the reset button and try and get some draft assets. Now, Jerry Jeudy, so far in his NFL career for a former first-round pick, has been a bit on the underwhelming side. When you look at Jerry Jeudy's career stats, we'll throw that on screen for you guys in just a second here. He's never gone over 1,000 yards. Last year was the best of his NFL career, 972 yards, 6 touchdowns. He did most of that work in the second half of the year, so unfortunately, he started the year off injured with a bad hamstring, and that's kind of slowed him down a little bit. I think it's too early whether we're being, we're believing what NFL Notifications has to say or not. Regardless of that, I think it's too early to rule on whether or not Cleveland should even trade for a skilled player, Jerry Jeudy or someone else. We're 3 games into the regular season. We haven't seen enough from Elijah Moore or Donovan Peoples-Jones to know if these guys can be wide receiver 2, right? I think we are a little early to be looking to make some big trades and give up premium assets for skilled players. If you want to trade for someone that's going to cost you a 7th, a 6th, or a 5th round draft pick, sure, you're not going to need a whole lot of approval. But if you want to give up a 2nd round pick for someone, that's going to have a long discussion with it. And so if you're giving up a 2nd round pick, you better believe that has to be coming at a position of need. And I think 3 games in, it's too early to rule on whether or not the Browns need another wide receiver. Now, what I want to know from everyone watching, though, is what position do you guys think the Browns might trade for? Right? Still early, but what position could you see the Browns possibly trading for? A wide receiver? A tackle? Let me know down in the comment section below. All right, moving on to our second segment for today's show. Could we give JOK the most improved award? I'm going to give this one 3 Bernie heads. Just like how I said, it's too early to talk about trading for specific players and positions. It might be too early to start handing out awards, but JOK through the first 3 weeks of the season, the guy looks like a very different player from the first couple of seasons of his NFL career. Now, before we get into that, today's Browns Report is sponsored by Game Time. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. If you're trying to catch an upcoming Browns game, or if you want to see a concert or just another sporting event in your area, Game Time is the place to visit first. What I personally love about Game Time specifically is the ability to get last-minute tickets for the lowest price. There's nothing better than when you're with your buds, with your pals, with your friends, and a spur-of-the-moment idea comes in of, hey, let's go to the Browns game, or hey, let's go catch a Cavs game, whatever it might be. But then the party comes to an end because tickets are so expensive and you don't want to, cough up that much money. But with Game Time, you can do that without breaking the bank. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. You can buy tickets in seconds with just 2 taps. They're obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code BROWNSCHAT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again, but create an account and redeem the code BROWNSCHAT for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, getting back to our JOK segment here. So far this season, the box score numbers might not look like a guy who's turned it around, but I'm telling you, JOK has been one of the best players on this defense, and he was flying all over the field this past Sunday against Tennessee. You look at his PFF grades, and PFF's not the end-all, be-all, but it's a good starting point. He's the 24th best linebacker out of 77 qualifying players, so top half in the league, top third in the league. Overall, 72.2. His run defense, and this is a spot where the Browns were sorely lacking last year, has really gone up, 71.7. You want to know why that is? Because JOK is a bit of an undersized linebacker. He's got great speed, agility, but unfortunately, he doesn't have the biggest frame, so that leads to sometimes picking up some hits and getting injured, or being an easy target for a lineman getting to the second level. But now that the Browns have actual defensive tackles in Dalvin Tomlinson and Shelby Harris, and even Jordan Elliott's been a little bit better-ish, well, these guys aren't getting to JOK. So he's able to do what he does best, which is fly into gaps and blow up plays in the backfield. JOK has been balling out so far. The key for him, though, is to stay healthy. That is something we have not seen from the former Notre Dame Fighting Irish player, right? He has always run into injuries, and knock on wood, fingers crossed, that changes this year. But if he does stay healthy, we're going to see a great season out of JOK. Now, another guy that maybe I could have included would be Elijah Moore. Grant Delpit has been awesome this year. The reason why I'm not talking about Grant Delpit for this is because I've been so high on Grant Delpit going into this year. I'm not surprised whatsoever for the season he's having. Elijah Moore, though, 15 grabs, 128 yards, 6 carries for 23 yards. I think more is to come. You saw a lot of touches for Elijah Moore in week 3. The offense is starting to get into a rhythm. You're going to see a lot more from Elijah Moore the rest of the way. All right, moving on to the final segment for today's episode. So the Browns go out and sign La'el Collins. I'm going to give this one just 1 Bernie head. I don't think this is something the Browns are going to pursue. I saw some chatter online about whether or not the Browns could pick up the phone, add Collins, maybe replace Jedrick Wills, who has been lackluster so far, to put it lightly. I don't think it's going to happen. Adam Schefter, for the background on the story, in case you're not familiar, tweeted out former Bengals offensive tackle La'el Collins, who missed training camp on the active PUP list while rehabbing from a torn ACL, Adam, and torn MCL, passed his physical today with Dr. Neil Attaché. Collins expected to soon find work. So Leo Collins is a very experienced player. He had a long and successful career with the Dallas Cowboys. He has 86 starts under his belt, but he has been a right tackle. He's a little bit experienced at left guard, but the Browns don't need a guard. If there is one position where if we wanted to add an improved player at, it would probably be left tackle. I'm not interested in signing Leo Collins to replace Dawand Jones. Now, Dawand Jones has been kicking ass and taking names so far, but the guy did suffer a major injury, and he looks to be ready to roll. I'm not quite sure what the backstory was in Cincinnati and why they moved on from him, but Jedrick Wills so far, the guy needs, he needs a wake-up call. He has not been a good tackle in 2023. PFF has him ranked 64th out of 68 players. That's bad. That's really bad. Overall grade, 47.3. Pass blocking has always been better than his run blocking. But for me, it's the effort and a little bit of the attitude. And maybe I'm out of my lane because I don't know Jedrick Wills personally. You probably don't know Jedrick Wills personally. But just what we can kind of gather from watching on Sundays and whatnot, and kind of what we hear in a little bit of the Walls and Berea talking, it's that every time Deshaun Watson gets sacked, Jedrick Wills has this most infuriating, stupid posture of just standing there. Just like, oops, like, do something, right? At least show, like, you're making an effort. At least try and go and push the guy off your quarterback, pick up Watson, jump on the ball. No, the moment he gets beat by a defensive end, he's flat-footed, and he's all shoulders. Come on. It drives everyone nuts. And I don't know if it's clearly an actual effort issue, but he needs a wake-up call because this is the NFL, the not-for-long league. And if he does not improve, I don't know what to say. Now, I did mention Dawand Jones earlier, and Dawand Jones is a player I have no interest in replacing. While we talk about the offensive line, Dawand Jones has been awesome filling in for Jack Conklin. He's getting better and better by the week. He's a rookie fourth-round pick that is hanging with the big dogs. You look at his PFF grades so far, they're not awesome, but they are definitely improving. 55th out of 67. He's been better than Jedrick Wills, for crying out loud, in his first season just through 3 weeks. Pass blocking grade is exactly what I'm looking for, 74.3. Sure, you'd like to have Jack Conklin, who's an excellent run blocker, out there, but for now, if I'm asking for my rookie backup offensive tackle to fill in at right tackle, it is protect the quarterback. Like, we can focus on the run game another day, but just make sure our quarterback does not get killed. And that's what he's done. Only 5 pressures allowed and 0 sacks allowed as well. Now, what I don't know, and maybe someone can answer this question for me, is why can, in my opinion, the best offensive line coach in the NFL, Bill Callahan, mold Dawand Jones into a starting caliber player as a rookie? But here we are, 4 years into the Jedrick Wills experience, and he's not looking like he's anywhere near a franchise left tackle. Is it truly an effort and attitude issue with Jedrick Wills? Was he just a bad football player? I really don't have the answer to this question. This is a question I would love to have answered. Because if it is answered and it's resolved, the Browns are good moving forward. They've got a cornerstone piece locked up at left tackle. But if not, they picked up his 5th-year option, and they are tied to him. Well, sort of tied. They traded Baker on his 5th-year option, but more or less tied to him this year and next year. So let me know. Have you given up on Jedrick Wills? Yes or no? Give me your honest opinion down below in the comment section. I don't want to give up, but I'm very close. I'm probably 1 or 2 more this away from giving up. All right, following the Browns win over the Titans, we got Petey's Doghouse, Good Doggies edition. So a long walk. These are just the most arbitrary things I just come up with. Deshaun Watson, meaning going from 1, 2 to 3. Watson was much better in week 3. We can all agree. If Amari Cooper is not called out of bounds for no good reason at all, Watson throws for 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards. Extra treats, how about Jerome Ford? Just the running back room itself, bouncing back following the Nick Chubb injury. They weren't perfect. They weren't spectacular, but they got the job done. They had some good rushes. They had some good moments. So just some extra treats going to Jerome Ford. And then no leash. You know that psycho in your neighborhood that walks their dog without a leash, and they think they're impressing anyone, but they're not? That's Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper really rose to the occasion. He knew that someone had to step up with Nick Chubb not in the backfield, and number 2 took over. So that's my doghouse following week 3. Hit me up on Twitter, by the way, at Matthew Petey. I'm always talking Brownies over there, so if you're looking for more Browns content, follow me over on X.